DC here. Hi, guys and gals. Okay, today is Monday, but I'm working now on the Saturday tag from Dave Nicholson, and I've got it here on the phone for the questions, and 7 questions. So let me see. Question 1: How can you achieve a work-life balance? Well, luckily, I'm retired now, so I don't have to worry about that too much. But when I was younger, and I was going to say, moving up on the corporate ladder, it was a challenge. It was a challenge because there were always things that seemed to come up that took time and took away the time from family. I was going to say in my early career, together with Mrs. DC, we made a very simple decision. Family comes first. And that had actually, I have had very big consequences in my career at times where I had even been told straight out by a very ambitious boss that this would cost me a promotion because the guy who was being evaluated at the same time as me had no qualms to put his work first. But he said, "You have even stated that you will not do this." So, like I say, it's had big consequences in that respect, but I don't regret them, not one bit. No. How can you achieve it? You just have to put where your priorities are and stick with it. Question 2: How can you be mentally strong? Now, I guess it all depends on, once again, so many of these questions, what do you really mean? If you have a mental illness, it'll be very difficult for you to be mentally strong. I mean, going to be, probably under treatment or something like that, and we cannot then say probably you're going to be mentally strong. Otherwise, I do think that there's spiritual exercises to help you to be mentally strong. I'll just leave it at that. Question 3: What is the most stressful thing or event that you have lived through, and how did you overcome it? There's been quite a few different stressful things over life, but I'm kind of thinking of one. I have mentioned it before. It's when we had the birth of our second son. I wasn't giving the birth, so I'm sure Mrs. DC would say her stress was slightly bigger than mine. Slightly is not the right word, um, but it was not a birth that was going well. And later on, we had a nurse that had worked in the bush, and she said, "Oh, we were so lucky that we were in a hospital." She said, "In the bush, both would have died." That was a very stressful. What did it take? It took 36 hours, something like that. That was very stressful. I would say that was probably it. Question. Well, actually, the answer was how did you overcome it? A lot of praying, that's for sure. Question 4: How can you have a positive outlook in life most of the time? Well, for one thing, I guess it's a lot to do with character. Um, I think that I see a glass mostly half full. Sometimes it's half empty, but as someone once said, if the glass is only at half capacity, you could always get a smaller glass. Anyway, uh, so I guess it has a lot to do with character and faith. Okay. Question 5: Do you want to lead a simple life or a complicated one with a lavish lifestyle, and why? a simple life. A complicated one is exactly, that's the right word. It's a complicated one. And who wants that? Lavish lifestyle, if it's going to be hell? No. No, I'd rather have a simple life. And I believe that, I mean, we're good middle class people, put it that way. Well, now that we're retired, we're probably like lower in that respect, but it doesn't matter. I mean, we live a simple life. I mean, that's probably the thing is. Do we do good things and nice things? Yeah, we do. But I appreciate what happens. And between good experiences, I mean, we're like, for example, we're not always out at the restaurant. We're not always out in the bars. We live a family life, a family centered life. That's what I mean. So I'd rather have that anytime. Question 6. Have you found your soulmate? If not, do you believe there is one for you? Well, I'd go so far as say that the answer is yes. In the fact, like I mentioned a few times already, I've been with Mrs. DC. We've been together like for 50 years now. But I have met one or two people where there is an extreme strong connection. And is that a soulmate? It might be. Again, you have to be careful with that. I've had also people thought I had a really strong connection with, that we had a falling out or the person just ghosted me. And I thought, like, what happened? So, yeah. But yeah, I would say the answer to that for myself is yes. Question 7. What is the most romantic thing that anyone did for you? Leave you guessing. Okay, DC, signing off. Take care, everybody, and thanks, Dave, for another good tag. Bye-bye.